Hi, welcome to Glow's Kinder Kitchen, and I'm Glow. Well, today we're going to be making some corned beef hash for brunch, and I wanted to show you how I make mine. As you know, we all make ours a little different, and so I just wanted to show you this morning how I make mine most of the time. So anyway, I've gone ahead and I have preheated my cast iron pan here, and to that I'm going to be adding a little bit of oil. That's probably about a tablespoon, and about the same amount of butter. That's actually more like a half of a tablespoon there. And you can tell my pan is nice and hot. I have preheated it to do this. And I went ahead and I cut up one medium onion, and I cut it up in about like this size here. I'll go ahead and put that in. Stir that around. Oh, it smells so good. I wish you guys were here to smell this. I love the smell of onion cooking.
Me too, Miss Glow.
Okay, and then to that, I'm going to be adding some cabbage, and a lot of people probably do not do that. I don't know. And I usually cut my head of cabbage up and shred it, but yesterday when we were at the store, they had some really nice coleslaw mix on sale. So I went ahead and bought that because I'm making fish for dinner, and I thought I'd make a coleslaw with that. And so I thought, well, why not just use this for this? And it actually has a little bit of carrot in it, along with some purple cabbage.
Sounds delightful.
And as we're talking here, I went ahead and turned up my heat a little because after I put that onion in, I hate to waste, so I'm trying to get the rest of that onion in there. I just turned up the heat, and I have it like on medium-low right now. And we're going to let this saute. And there's a carrot there, a couple of carrots that I think are too big. So I'm just going to cut them in half here with my spatula. There we go. So also before we started, I went ahead and I took 2 medium potatoes, Idaho potatoes, and I diced them up real small, about like that size there. And I covered them with water until we started this, and the reason I do that is because potatoes brown if you don't cover them with water before you cook them. So, I mean, if you were going to cook them right away, you'd be fine, but these have been sitting here about a half an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and drain this water off, and then what I do is I kind of steam these in my microwave while everything else is cooking. Because potatoes take longer to cook and in a pan, so I give them a head start in my microwave. And by doing this with the water in there, that reserved water will actually help those steam. So I'm going to go ahead and start my microwave for, I think I'm going to do 2.5 minutes. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. Hi, well, welcome back. You can tell here in our pan that the onions and the cabbage and also a few of those carrots are nicely sauteing in here. And actually they're browning a little, which is great because that adds extra flavor. And I went ahead and I steamed my potatoes. Just wanted you guys to see them. They're very hot right now. It actually was 3.5 minutes that I steamed these on full power.
Very hot, Miss Glow.
Yeah, it is very hot. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. It does have a little water on it from steaming it, but that's fine. You can hear the sizzle.
Moisture.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and just pour it in. And again, by steaming these potatoes like I did, this is a much quicker dish to prepare because potatoes do take longer to cook.
How long did it take to steam those, Miss Glow?
It was 3.5 minutes on full power.
Okay.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about the spices I put in mine. And I went ahead and I pre-measured everything in here, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about each one. I have an 1/8 of a teaspoon of oregano. And I have a 1/4 of a teaspoon of the sweet basil. And I have an 1/8 of a teaspoon of celery seed. I had about, I would say, 1/4 to a 1/2 a teaspoon, more closer to a 1/4, let's say a 1/3 of, this is mustard seeds. And if you don't have mustard seeds, you can easily add ground mustard. And then I have marjoram, and there was a 1/4 of a teaspoon of marjoram, an 1/8 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, and an 1/8 of a teaspoon of onion powder. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in right now in this. And the reason I'm doing it now, it helps those seasonings bloom because these are all dried herbs. So this adds a lot of flavor to your corned beef hash by doing this. And you don't have to add those, herbs and seasonings if you don't want to, but it really does accentuate the dish. And so now as this is, sauteing here a little bit more, I'm going to talk to you about, and let me just move this stuff out of the way so we have more room. I'm going to talk to you about the corned beef. As you know, corned beef hash comes in a can that will look like this. There's several different brands. I actually purchased this at Publix and I really like it. And they always come with a key. And there's sometimes I can open this can with no problem at all, except for one major problem. When you open this type of a can, it's very sharp. And so when I purchased a can opener that you can open up cans without a sharp edge, I decided to start using it for my corned beef hash. There's even been times I've purchased one of these and there's no key. By the time I got home, the key got lost, and so I just wanted to show you how I do this. So my can opener opens like this, and I just go around the sides. And it usually takes a couple times around. Of course, my can opener is probably 15 years old, or plus or minus, so. And then you just open it. Just like that.
Safety first, Miss Glow.
Yep.
No sharp edge.
No sharp edge at all. No fighting with the key to get it to open correctly. And
Yeah, those keys
it
don't
works
always
great.
work, that's for sure.
Yep, so I already had opened up one can, I put it in here. I'm making a double batch here today, and the reason being this makes a delicious breakfast or dinner throughout the week. So, and with just the two of us, one of these cans would probably be enough for 2 meals, easily. Maybe 3, depending on what you're going to serve with it. But by doing the two together, you can freeze this if you wanted, and it doesn't take much longer at all to do a double batch versus a single batch.
And then you'll have enough for Lucy, our dog.
Oh yeah, she loves this stuff. So this looks like it's about ready for me to put, and what I did is I broke this up pretty good with my fork after I put it in this bowl. And this is just one can. And I'm not sure if I told you how much of the cabbage I put in, but it was a good cup to a cup and a quarter of cabbage.
I don't think you told us, Miss Glow.
Well, now we know.
Yep.
So, and I have my pan on medium-low. And this is going to just go ahead and start cooking a little. And I'm going to go ahead and take the corned beef out of this can, and I'll be right back with you, and we'll continue on. Hi. Well, I went ahead and I took the second can out of the second can of corned beef out of the can. I just was going to show you this too. Summertime, it slides right out. This time of year, you kind of have to prod it out with a fork, or I actually used a spatula to go around the sides to help with it to start it out. But there's really not that much fat in this either. And I'm going to go ahead and add this to it. This has been in the pan now about 3 minutes, the first can. And making this dish, you could add more potatoes if you wanted, more corned beef, more onion, whatever you want to help stretch it. And also, you know, by adding that stuff, you're getting more vegetables in it too. So, I had broken up this corned beef like I did the first can a little before I even put it in here, but I'm going to go ahead and just let this set. I'm going to scrape my spatula off, and I'm going to put a lid on this and let this saute for a good 5 minutes or so. And I'll be back in just a little bit and we'll see the end. Hi. Well, our corned beef has been sitting here for 5 minutes with the lid on. And let's see what it looks like underneath. It smells delicious. Oh, look at that.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Smells good too, really good.
When you're cooking something like this, it's real important, if you want a little bit of browning on here for flavor, to leave it alone for at least 5 minutes. And put a lid on it, or you don't even have to do that if you don't want to. But by putting a lid on it, it helps it keep its moisture.
And what was your temperature at on that, Miss Glow?
Medium low.
Okay.
And I'm cooking in a cast iron pan, but you don't have to use a cast iron pan. You can use a stainless steel pan. You could use a non-stick Teflon type pan, whatever you want. But the main thing is, just like with most stuff, low and slow is the best. And you have more control over it, and you tend not to burn stuff. But, oh, this just looks so good. So I'm going to let this cook just a little bit longer, probably about 4 minutes, so we get a little bit more browning on the bottom. And I'll be back with you in just a little bit. Well, our corned beef hash has been cooking here for about 4 minutes, actually. And I just wanted to show you what it looks like. This lid is very hot, so.
Be careful with that lid, Miss Glow.
It smells delicious. Oh yeah. See the brown that we're getting on the bottom?
Yes.
And that adds a lot of flavor to your corned beef hash. Oh, that's beautiful. I do say so myself.
Looks good.
And one of the reasons I selected the herbs that I did in this is because that's what you have when you're making corned beef. Whether you cook it on the stove, in the oven, or in your crock pot. And so one day when I was making our corned beef hash, I thought, you know what? I'm going to add those herbs to my corned beef hash. And I'll tell you, it really upped the dish. It just adds a lot of flavor. And I just thought I'd share that with you. So I'm going to go ahead and put it just a little bit in a bowl here to sample it. Let it cool off a bit. And oh, at the very end, I always add black pepper, but I never add salt because your corned beef has plenty of salt in it. That's probably 1/8 of a teaspoon, and then everybody just adds the additional pepper that they would like. But this will just kind of seep down in there in the meantime. It's probably cool enough now to take a bite. Oh, it smells so good, you guys.
It does.
It is delicious. So today what we're going to add with this when I finish this brunch off to eat is I'm making poached eggs and scrambled eggs. Richard prefers scrambled. I prefer the poached with this. And then I have leftover biscuits that I'm going to cook on the stove, grill them in a hot pan with butter. I'll tell you, it just really ups them to a whole different level of taste. So, and I will do 2 videos on the side to go with that, with this, and then, but I will show you the finished dish at the end of this video. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today, and please like and subscribe to our channel. We would really appreciate it. Bye.